Ladies and gentlemen, the conferment ceremony will start at once. Please take your seat. Meanwhile, please switch your phone into silent. Thank you for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome President Hong Hechen, Dr. Peter Salovey, and Dean Zhang Huilin. Let's give him a big applause. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to National Tsinghua University, Dr. Peter Salovey, Honorary Doctorate Conferment Ceremony. First of all, let's welcome President He Chen-hong, President of National Tsinghua University, Taiwan, to come up to the stage to make an opening to this conferment ceremony. Welcome, President He Chen.
President Salovey, Mrs. Salovey, distinguished Yale colleagues, guests, friends. On behalf of my university and all my colleagues present here at this magnificent Morris Greenberg Conference Center, as well as students, faculty, and staff across the Pacific, let me express our deep gratitude to our Yale colleagues who had done such a spectacular arrangement for this glorious event for Yale University and National Tsinghua University. Today, National Tsinghua University is to bestow on site a truly intellectually and globally outstanding individual, the highest awards from our university. That individual is, of course, Dr. Peter Salovey, President of Yale University. Just over a century ago, in the year 1911, China underwent the most monumental transformation of 2 millenniums to republic. A new institution was founded in parallel. This institution was then considered well-funded by the Indemnity Fund from the Boxer Rebellion for United States. This fund was created by President Theodore Roosevelt. In 1928, this institution was named National Tsinghua University. For a century, the institution met arduous challenges, not the least of which was the painful 8 years, 1937 to 1945. It had to move from Peking to Kunming in the southwestern part of China, and the separation of the mainland China and Taiwan in 1949. Yet, with absolute determination by generations of students, faculty, and administrators to overcome such challenges, the institution also experienced glorious and enormous growth. Today, 2 institutions in Asia Pacific, which are joined at the hips, Beijing Tsinghua University and Hsinchu National Tsinghua University, render the term Tsinghua to symbolize to the world the essence of academic excellence. It is probably not an accident that 3 Chinese Nobel laureates who received their undergraduate education in my part of the globe, Zheng Dao Li, Zhenlin Yang, and Yuanzi Li, did part or all their undergraduate and graduate studies in National Tsinghua University. Furthermore, many of leading figures that impacted Chinese ways and means, such as the great mathematician Qin Chen and famous philosopher, politician, and reformist Qi Liang, were affiliated with National Tsinghua University. President Salovey, history has indeed been extraordinarily kind to the interaction of Yale and Tsinghua. As we know, the very first Chinese to graduate from an American university, Mr. Yung Win, I know you pronounce well, Rong Hong, did so in 1854 at Yale. I know that Mr. Yung's statue is prominently displayed on Yale's campus. We all visited this morning. Later, Mr. Yung persuaded the Qing dynasty government to send young Chinese students to study Western science engineering in the United States. So in 1872, 120 boys came to this country. One of them was the Tang Guoyuan. Mr. Tang entered the famed Yale Law School. After he returned to China, he dedicated himself to public service and was then able to move in very high and important circles. In 1912, Mr. Tang became the principal of Tsinghua School, the forebearer of National Tsinghua University. So in this sense, Mr. Tang, a Yale alumnus, is considered as the founding president of my university. I'm also very happy to know that because of Yung's historical contribution to cross-cultural exchange in his pioneering program, Yale bestowed him honorary doctor in 1876. So in preparing this speech, I purposely felt that such a history makes today's honorary degree ceremony slightly over a century after Mr. Tang's presidency, a truly monumental and profoundly meaningful one. I hope that this marks the beginning and not the conclusion of a new era of profound relationship between our two universities. While you, Dr. Salovey, and unquestionably an intellect of great depth, it is equally true that Yale University is a higher education institution of the highest caliber, cultivating the best talents of a nation that leads the world in many aspects of intellectual and innovative pursuits since the 20th century. Likewise, in the 21st century, Asia is becoming a vital part of the global landscape. Many countries in East Asia are becoming intellectual and economic powerhouses. The relationship between Yale and National Tsinghua University literally began on day one. I believe that our relationship is even more important today. In this regard, Taiwan practices is unique because for several decades now, Taiwan practices full democracy and modernization of Chinese society so that entire Chinese community can be relevant to the world of the 21st century. In his speech entitled, Creating Global Universities, From Student Exchanges to Collaboration, your predecessor, Richard Levin, said, but we face common global challenges as well to maintain an integrated global system of trade and investment under a rule of law, to avoid war, to protect the environment, and to prevent the spread of infectious diseases that do not respect national boundaries. We need to educate citizens of the world who will work together in addressing these global problems. As two of the universities who strive for global intellectual superiority for our students, I hope the event today shall be a clarion call to all institutions of higher learning, not only from North America and Asia, but around the globe, that we must all strive to maintain such an integrated global system, so elegantly expounded by Mr. Levin. We hope that by having the honor of you, Dr. Peter Salovey, intimately becoming a part of NTHU, we could build a new era of relationship, not just between our two universities, but between East and West. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, President He Chen. Please stay on the stage. Now it is the remarkable moment for NTHU. Dr. Peter Salovey is recommended by the Commission of General Education from National Tsinghua University. Please welcome Dean Zhang Huiling to come up to the stage to read the citation, please.
National Tsinghua University, on the recommendation of its University Committee on Honorary Degrees, hereby confers upon Peter Salovey the degree Doctor of Philosophy, honoris causa. Dr. Peter Salovey is a world-renowned psychologist. He became Yale University's 23rd president on July 1st, 2013. Founded in 1701, Yale is unquestionably one of the most influential universities globally. The alumni of Yale are world leaders in nearly all human endeavors, from politics to medicine, from engineering to basic science, and from humanities to legal studies. National Tsinghua University recognizes Dr. Salovey for his pioneering work known as emotional intelligence. His research, in collaboration with Dr. John Mayer, shows that just as people have a wide range of intellectual abilities, they also have a wide range of abilities pertaining to emotional control, reasoning, and perceptivities. He also has made major contributions to health psychology and thereby to health itself. National Tsinghua University hereby confers upon Dr. Peter Salovey the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Human Letters honoris causa, given on the 11th day of August in the year of 2014.
Dr. Salovey, please come up to the stage to accept this degree, please. Dean Zhang, please hand the certificate to President He Chen. President He Chen, please present the certificate to Dr. Peter Salovey. Dean Zhang, please move to the right-hand side of Dr. Salovey for another group picture. Dean Zhang, please bring the plaque to President He Chen. President He Chen, please present the plaque to Dr. Salovey. Dean Zhang, please move to the right-hand side of Dr. Salovey to take another group picture. The souvenir represents National Tsinghua University appreciation for Dr. Salovey's contribution to the society. The 8 Chinese words on the calligraphy are NTHU's motto: self-discipline and social commitment. Please. Okay, thank you. Congratulations. Dr. Peter Salovey is now an NTHU alumnus. Let's give it a big round. Thank you, President He Chen and Ding Zhuang. Dr. Salovey, please stay on the stage for your acceptance remark.
Thank you. 大家好. Mr. President, Ding Zhuang, it is humbling to receive an honorary degree from your university. I'm even further privileged that you traveled such a great distance just to bestow this honor upon me. As you know, Vice President Da Xuanfeng knows that we have been trying for 2 years, before even I was appointed president, to find a time when I could visit your campus, visit the campus of the National Tsinghua University. But since assuming the presidency, the schedule became quite difficult, and so I'm very grateful for your generosity in so graciously traveling to Yale for this occasion. I would also like to thank other guests who are here today. President Ho Chung's delegation from NTHU that includes Yale graduate and NTHU Professor of History Thomas H.C. Lee, Mr. Fan from the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in New York, my faculty and staff colleagues and friends from Yale, and of course my wife Marta and our nephew Colin. It's in the middle of the summer at Yale, and many people are away from campus, and so I am still so grateful that so many of you here today, even though you probably could be with your families taking your annual vacations. I appreciate you coming this afternoon and sharing this moment with all of us. I'm very grateful for NTHU's recognition of my work on emotional intelligence. Over 25 years ago, I started this work with my colleague Jack Mayer, who's at the University of New Hampshire. The initial reaction to this research was actually somewhat unenthusiastic. Our first paper was ultimately published in a very small journal, and it received little notice in the first 5 years or so that it came out. 5 years after we published that paper, Dan Goleman, a psychologist who's also a journalist, wrote a popular book called Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. And in that book, he credited us with the idea of emotional intelligence and cited that first paper from 1990. Since that time, since Dan Goleman cited that paper, it's now been cited more than 6,000 times. And so I am very grateful to him for taking this idea and creating such a wide audience for it. Although my current responsibilities as Yale president prevent me from devoting a lot of time to research anymore, I'm glad that members of my laboratory, some of whom are here with us today, continue to carry out our research on emotional intelligence. But I'm not going to give you an introductory lecture on emotional intelligence. That's actually best done with PowerPoint slides and about 45 minutes. Instead, I'd just like to spend a couple of minutes reflecting on the connections, and you've already heard Mr. President talk about the connections, some of the connections between our two universities, and between Yale and Taiwan, and across all of Asia, and the impact of these connections on educating our students. We're extraordinarily proud of the many distinguished Yale graduates connected to NTHU. In fact, as you heard, the first president of Tsinghua University, when it was founded in Beijing in 1911, Tang Kuo-an, had studied at Yale. Today, there are at least 10 members of the NTHU faculty, including Professor Lee, who are Yale graduates. I know that Yale and NTHU share other things in common. We are similar in the size of our student body. We are similar in the size of our faculty. And NTHU Tsinghua College, which was founded in 2008, is modeled in part on Yale's residential colleges. Beyond the gates of NTHU, Yale graduates may be found in all areas of Taiwan. From the Premier's office, as you heard, Premier Jiang received his PhD in political science from Yale, to leaders in business, arts, and civil society. In the region, Yale faculty, students, and graduates have been traveling there or returning home for centuries. Today, there are over 3,200 Yale alumni living across the region, with some of Yale's largest and most active alumni clubs found in cities such as Hong Kong and Tokyo. This past year, 320 current undergraduate students from Yale spent time in Asia, nearly a quarter of the total who were abroad this year. Some of these students took a class on the humanities with a Yale professor in Tokyo, or enrolled on their own in a course at the University of Thailand, or worked in an internship in Seoul or Singapore, or conducted independent research in such locales as Nepal, Laos, Vietnam, or right in Taiwan. We know that these experiences will have a profound effect on these students, and they will very likely draw on them throughout their lives. Students from Asia now make up over 1/3 of all international students at Yale, 38%, or 891 students, including 21 from Taiwan. So even when they are not traveling in the region, they are still bringing their cultural experiences and perspectives into the classroom and into discussion sections on our campus. All extremely valuable for the students from the US and from other parts of the world to have the perspective of students from all over Asia. Asia is a popular part of the Yale curriculum. Each year, we offer approximately 150 courses related to East Asia alone. 6 Asian languages are taught at Yale on a regular basis, and 11 Asian languages are available for independent study. Yale was the first university in the US to collect books in East Asian languages beginning in 1849, and now there are over 1.25 million titles in our collections. The Yale University Art Gallery's Asian and Indo-Pacific art collections contain over 8,600 objects, including paintings, ceramics, textiles, and prints. These observations, they just give a sense of the presence that Asia has here on the Yale campus. Yale's faculty members are also very active in the region. In fact, the number of faculty members invited to today's ceremonies sent regrets, saying that they were in Asia. Some of my colleagues in the room today, such as Professor T.P. Ma, spend time quite often in Taiwan and have joint research labs at universities in China. Of particular note is the 2007 International Conference, Taiwan and Its Contexts, which was a collaborative effort between Yale, Harvard, and NTHU. Professor Kang-Yi Sun Chang, thank you for coming today, was one of the organizers of this conference, and she worked with our council on East Asian Studies in working with your university and with Harvard on this landmark conference. The conference examined Taiwan in its wide-ranging contexts, especially regarding Taiwan's politics and economics, society, history, and memories, cultural and countercultural, literature and the arts, and intellectual dynamics. A conference volume, Taiwan and Its Context, was published in Taiwan in 2012. These connections are an important element of liberal education. At Yale and NTHU, we are training students to be leaders in all fields for the entire world. They need to learn how to think and exchange ideas. They need skills that will be invaluable for the rest of their lives. We teach them to think critically, solve problems, create, communicate, argue about ideas, work in teams with other people from other cultures. In this context, I should mention our partnership with the National University of Singapore to create Yale NUS College. This new college, which opened last year, provides an opportunity to design a totally new liberal arts curriculum, not simply encouraging liberal education in Asia, but instead creating a new curriculum that melds East and West, one that takes into consideration the topics and issues and the history and perspectives to do an even better job preparing the next generation of leaders. Our university partners in Asia have been extraordinary. Together, we've created whole new curricula, developed new courses, provided opportunities that students only could have dreamed about a few years back, and they have pursued research on some of the most pressing challenges facing humanity today. The web of connections is keeping research and teaching strong and vibrant and offers exciting potential for the future of our universities. I want to thank you again for coming all the way to present me with this honor. It's a long way to travel to present an honorary degree to me and to honor Yale University and the ties between our two universities. These connections are important, and in that respect, the distance is actually quite small. Thank you so much for bestowing this honor on me. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Salovey. Please stay on the stage. This is an exciting moment for NTHU, and it will make a significant mark in the history of Tsinghua University. We would like to invite President He Chen, Ding Zhuang, the delegation of NTHU, to come up to the stage for a group photo. Let's welcome Mrs. Salovey. Thank you, delegation of NTHU. Please return to your seat. Thank you for your participation. The Dr. Peter Salovey doctorate conferment ceremony has come to an end. Thank you all for your attending, and we hope to see you soon. We will be hosting a celebratory reception from now on. Everyone, please move to the lobby. Thank you, and have a good evening.